He made India laugh, think and feel, one advertisement at a time. The man behind Fevicol's wit, Cadbury's charm and Vodafone's pug, the one and only Piyush Pandey, is no more. The legendary advertiser passed away of a prolonged lung illness. Piyush Pandey redefined Indian advertisement and advertising in the last quarter of a century. Take a look.
मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा तो सुर बने हमारा बात है हम सभी
He gave us the Fevicol bus that never broke apart. A Cadbury girl who danced her heart out on a cricket field. And the pug that followed us everywhere. Piyush Pandey, the man who turned everyday India into unforgettable storytelling. A cricketer turned copywriter, he joined Ogilvy in 1982 and went on to build the country's most successful ad agency.
मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा तो सुर बने हमारा
His magic with the pen didn't just extend to copy, but also to lyrics, penning Mile Sur Mera Tumhara, an Indian song that promoted national integration and unity in diversity.
चलो हालात बदले, देश की सरकार बदले, भाजपा को वोट दे, अब की बार.
And when politics called, Pandey's words powered one of India's most defining election slogans, Ab ki baar, Modi Sarkar. He was honoured with the Padma Shri in 2016, named Global Chief Creative Officer of Ogilvy and celebrated across continents as the man who gave Indian advertising its own accent, rooted, real and unmistakably ours.
Joining me now is another special figure from the world of advertising. He's a man of many parts. Prasoon Joshi joins me. Appreciate your joining us. Prasoon, what for you was what was the first thought that came to you when you heard that Piyush Pandey is no more at the age of 70?
I'm really saddened by the news. Piyush Pandey would be someone whom I would always very fondly remember. Piyush Pandey was the first person who actually made me believe that in the advertising world there is a lot of use for people like me who came from smaller towns. Piyush was not like any other advertising person I met at that time while I was doing my MBA. So he was someone who was very authentic, someone who would always be remembered for the joyful work he did and inspired others to do. And I was fortunate to have worked with him and collaborated with him on a lot of campaigns, be it Cadbury's, Asian Paints, many stuff we did together, a lot of things which I outside did and he admired even when I had left working with him.
You're mentioning some iconic ads there, like Cadbury's and other ads that Piyush, in a sense, conceived kuch khas hai. Your memories of him, your remembrances of Piyush in the context of those ads, Prasoon?
When we talk about Piyush Pandey, I think one important thing which will always be remembered about him is his love for life. Be it professionally or personally, he just loved life. He believed in enjoying every moment of life. And I think that's what also reflected in his work. He always, got these nice stories from life, from everyday life, and he wanted to share those stories. He always inspired you to share vulnerability of your life with other people, be it his relationship with his family, be his relationship with his friends. He will always talk about it, and that's what he wanted to share with the world. I think his love for life, that was very evident in his work.
His love for life is how you're putting it. Prasoon Joshi speaking to me earlier. Let me now go live to Anuradha Sengupta, a journalist who's tracked the world of advertising for several years now, and CVL Srinivas, country manager, WPP India. I want to come to you, Anuradha, first, because give us a context. Put Piyush Pandey and his work in context. One of the tributes flowing to him today was interesting. It said he reflected the Swadeshification of Indian advertising, the Hindification, Swadeshification. Do you agree, or was he much more than just that?
Well, Rajdeep, Amitabh Bachchan tweeted earlier today 2 words, Stabd, Nishabd. That's the way most of us are feeling today. To be here, to say and speak about Piyush Pandey in the past tense feels really strange. I didn't expect to be doing this, but here we are. And Swadeshi, Hindification, Desification, you just spoke to Prasoon. Prasoon used the word authentic, which is very much the currency today. Piyush Pandey was authentic as long as, we've known him. What you saw is what you got. He brought, in this age of artificial intelligence, he brought the human heart and he kept it front and center. In the past 10 years or so, a lot has changed. In the last 5 years, the entire industry has been completely disrupted. Marketing, advertising, brand communication. You have data, you have algorithms, you have the big tech companies, you have influencers, you have reels, transitions. Everything is transactional, everything is transitory. Piyush Pandey remained focused on the human heart, on the beating heart of India in this age of artificial intelligence. So he's way beyond just those few things that he did do, and he does get credit for in the way he changed Indian advertising.
Let me come to you, Mr. Srinivas, in that context. When I look at these advertisements, Asian Paints, Har Ghar Kuch Kehta Hai, Bajaj, Hamara Bajaj, Vodafone, the pug that everyone remembers, of course, Cadbury's Kuch Khas Hai, Fevicol, the ad like Todo Nahi Jodo. How do you see, Piyush, the body of work that he did over the years stands out for you? Or just as Anuradha said and Prasoon before, a certain authenticity that he brought to Indian advertising in a way, which was very anglicized in its early years?
Yeah, absolutely. Rajdeep, advertising is supposed to make brands famous, but I think Piyush Pandey made advertising famous. I think that's what we'll all remember him by, because in the early 90s, when he came up with all those fantastic ads, firstly for Cadbury's and then, of course, Fevicol and everything else, I think it's thanks to him that, and remember, those were the days where there was no social media.
Your audio. Okay, we'll try and... Yeah, go ahead. Okay, we'll come back to you, Srini, in a moment. But Anuradha, there is the Piyush Pandey, Mile Sur Mera Tumhara Piyush Pandey, and there's the Piyush Pandey who also did Abki Baar Modi Sarkar. So he actually conceptualized some belief, part of that 2014 campaign. I write about it in my 2014 book. But was he, in that sense, political in the way he saw the world? or was he just the authentic, creative person looking for a interesting campaign to put out there? Whether it was for a politician or a product.
You know, Rajdeep, that is Rajdeep, that's something that I have grappled with. It is not a question that he has taken head on or directly ever in terms of what his politics are, but there is no doubt about the fact that he was extremely enthused by what Prime Minister Modi represented, the change he represented when he, burst into our lives and won that election in 2014. And Piyush worked with him when he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat on that famous Gujarat tourism campaign. So he saw definitely in Prime Minister Modi a chance for change. And sorry, say again.
Khushbu Gujarat ki, that was the campaign.
Yes. And, and he loved advertising. He had a challenge. He had to communicate something, and he communicated what he believed in at that point of time for that campaign. That's the way I see it.
Because the simplicity, authenticity is one word associated with Piyush, larger than life, of course. And there was the simplicity, Srinivas, about his campaigns. He wasn't flashy in his advertising, but he made it simple and accessible. Would I be right in saying that?
Absolutely. I think he was someone who really connected with the real people, with all the real incidents, and every situation that he went through in his own life and whatever he experienced in his own life. And remember, he was a cricketer before he became an ad man. So he brought a lot of that, into his work, into his craft. And he wasn't someone who would sit far away in a fancy building and meet clients once in a while. He was out there. He was in the market. He was meeting clients day in and day out. He really knew the pulse of the consumer. And yes, so extremely authentic. And I would say God's greatest gift to Indian advertising.
You mentioned his cricket. Just to tell our viewers, Piyush was a very good wicket-keeper batsman, or should I say batsman wicket-keeper. I was sent by a friend one of his college photographs at St. Stephen's in the 1970s. Arun Lal, the test cricketer, was part of that team. And I always felt, Srini, that Piyush would have rather played cricket for Rajasthan or India instead of even being the head of O&M as he was for many years. That was his first love. Pehla pyar was not Cadbury's but cricket.
Yes, every conversation, Rajdeep, every conversation one had with him, even the last time I spoke with him a few weeks ago, he would always start and end with cricketing analogy. And so, especially on a day like this, for me, he's a man who, he never ducked to a bouncer. In fact, he hit every bouncer for a six, and he always played with a straight bat.
Right. Anuradha, you've seen a lot of Piyush's ads. You want to pick a favorite one for us, something that for you defines what Piyush did? Would there be one such ad for you as someone who's observed that industry for so close?
The ad he does for Asian Paints, Har Ghar Kuch Kehta Hai, which is his own voiceover. The voiceover in that ad is his own voice. That if you hear those lines,
Right.
It's poetry. And what Piyush did with his advertising was that he took advertising, which is commercial, brand-led communication, and made it part of our culture. Today, we have specialist units that are listening to culture and trying to create something. What he created became part of culture. I'd pick Asian Paints and the work he did, though Fevicol, and how he took a product which was used by carpenters and made it a part of culture and, everyday language, and something all of us use, is a huge, massive case study in brand building.
Okay. My favorite, of course, and I think Piyush's favorite somewhere secretly, was Cadbury's, because he got to shoot at the Brabant Stadium and thereby was able to bring cricket and chocolates together. And as someone who was a cricket fanatic like Piyush, I'm sure that ad gave him a lot of personal satisfaction. But Anuradha Sengupta and Mr. Srinivas, appreciate you joining me. Piyush Pandey will be much missed. Thanks for all the memories. Piyush, we will miss you.